All right, hey guys, Kyle here with Creative Cosplays Magazine. Happy New Year! We have a lot going on this year, including a lot more interviews, and we are going to start our first interview today. Helping me out today, we have Rio of Griffin Studios Photography. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a while. He actually kind of joined the cosplay scene when I did. And Rio, please introduce yourself, please, and just tell everybody a little bit about who you are and your work that you do.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? I'm Rio Griffin, owner and photographer of Griffin Studios. I've been doing photography for coming up on probably a decade here now, which, geez, I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, I've been covering cons. I started off as an automobile photographer, doing photo shoots at car shows, car models, different things like that. But then ended up transitioning over to cosplay, which I enjoy because I'm a huge nerd. I'm a co-host of another podcast called Everybody Gets One. You can find that on all social media platforms. Everybody Gets 01. Go ahead and check us out over there. Give us a like and a follow. Yeah, and me and Kyle go way back. So we like a lot of the same things, that's for sure.
Yeah.
As you can see in his background there, I'm about all of that. So yeah. So I'm excited, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure and glad to have you, man. So before we get started, we are bringing in and talking with a cosplayer that has been featured in our magazine multiple times now. And as recently of our mid-season issue that just came out, issue number 11, check it out. It's available now on our website, creativecosplays.com. It just features 24 of the best cosplayer photography that's submitted. He has made it to the front cover. His name is Jimmy Woo, and he is also known as JCW.COSPLAY. Jimmy, nice to meet you, man. How are you?
Great, thanks for having me. Definitely truly an honor to be chosen for the cover for this issue. I was looking at the digital version advance of it, and just amazing cosplayers in the issue, amazing photographers. So just truly very honored to be put on the cover of this great magazine. Yeah, thanks for having me today. Glad to be here to talk to you guys about cosplay and everything that comes with it. A little bit about me. I'm down in Dallas, Fort Worth, in Texas. I've been cosplaying since 2016. Mostly do Marvel cosplays, but I'm into all sorts of fandoms. Just like Rio said, everything behind Kyle, I'm down with. So, no objection from me. But just once again, truly glad to be here to be joined by you guys, and happy to be here. So.
Awesome. Happy to have you. Jimmy is known not only for his Shang-Chi cosplay, which was amazing, and we're going to talk to him about that in a little bit, but he's also known for his Magneto, his Khonshu, Spider-Man, of course, Ant-Man, and Shredder was one of the big ones that we saw. We love that Shredder. But yeah, the photo that made it to the cover is the Shang-Chi. Tell us about that cosplay, how that came together, and what you think of it.
So when I first heard that Marvel was coming out with the Shang-Chi movie, I was super pumped, super excited, just based on representation and whatnot, finally having a kind of mainstream Asian superhero in a lead role like that. It was very exciting. So I started looking into how can I make this a cosplay of mine, to have that representation, to really be able to embody it and be a part of it. I was lucky enough to find some great cosplay sites that were making the suit just based off of promotional pictures and stills and whatnot. Got the costume, got the cosplay. With all my cosplays, I like to make something for it. So the suit, obviously, I didn't make, very complex, but I was like, what can I make for the suit? How about the staff? So I ended up crafting a staff out of PVC foam,
Cool.
PVC pipe, and some craft foam on it. It turned out pretty well. And then I started doing just some, I guess, self shoots and whatnot in it. I was lucky enough, actually, because of my Shang-Chi cosplay, I was putting out there on Instagram pretty early on. I feel like I was one of the first few to put it out there with the different tags and whatnot. I was actually recognized by a cosplayer in California and she actually asked me if I wanted to go to the premiere of the movie because she saw me in my Shang-Chi cosplay.
Oh, cool.
It was on a random Tuesday. I had to work. I was like, this is once in a lifetime. I gotta make this work somehow. So called off work, rescheduled some of my patients, and then was able to fly down and just experience this whirlwind of a once in a lifetime thing, being on the red carpet and seeing the stars and seeing the movie a little early too.
Yeah, we
Um,
saw a photo of you with Shang-Chi himself, Simu Liu, and how was that? Did you guys get a chance to talk to each other, or what do you
Not
think
too
of your
much.
cosplay?
It was a lot of cosplayers there,
Yeah.
so we just kind of going down the line. He was super cool, super nice guy from our brief interaction.
Hmm.
And just getting to see the stars there was pretty neat up close.
Any of
They're just
the
like us, just fancier suits, right? So,
Who are some of the other stars you got to see and take a picture with or meet?
let's see who else was there. Sir Ben Kingsley. That was quite the experience. He was there. Um, let's see who else was there. Aquafina showed up. Kevin Feige was there. Saw him there as well in person.
Man, that's awesome.
First thing I noticed on him were his really fancy Nikes.
Mhm.
So I took a picture of them. When I came back home, I started Googling. I think I found out they were like $200 Nikes. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
How about you, Rio? Have you been to any premieres yet? I think that would be an awesome experience. I'm jealous of everybody that gets to
Um,
go to them.
yeah, no, I haven't done any premieres. I've gone to a few early screenings. I'm not cool enough to, get
Yeah.
premiere treatment. That would be neat. That would be neat though. That'd be nice. I know plenty of people who do, friends, mutual Facebook friends, cosplayers. Um, they get invited quite a bit which, makes sense. It's good. It's good representation for the movie. Um, and just kind of people out there having a good time, having fun. And of course, the cosplayers are going to give a positive review of whatever it is that they're there to see because they're already, representing it essentially.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah, we saw that. We also saw that at the premiere. Looks like you got to meet. I don't know if you're friends with a lot of those cosplayers already, but we've seen them pretty popular people in the community. Did you meet those people there, or were you friends with them ahead of time, or?
Yeah, totally met them there. I think maybe one or two I followed on Instagram before, but that was truly the first time meeting them in
Yeah, cool.
person. Everyone was super nice, super welcoming into the community because most of them, they've been established, they've been around for a while,
Yeah,
they're known. So um, for them to include me in something like that was truly, really really cool, and I really appreciate all of them for doing that. And nice thing is, afterwards we stayed in touch, just virtually and whatnot, and stayed friends, stayed connected and whatnot. So it's cool seeing them go through their journey, coming up with their different cosplays and
yeah,
whatnot, and just following along, living vicariously through their posts and all the stuff that they're doing over there. So pretty neat, yeah.
yeah. Very cool. Rio, any questions about his Shang-Chi?
yeah, well, okay, so anybody who knows me or follows me on my podcast, they know Shang-Chi is my favorite Phase 4 movie, even over
Okay.
Spider-Man No Way Home. Um I just Shang-Chi it's the perfect movie specifically for me and the things that I like. It's a combination of martial arts movies, comic book movies, and anime. I mean, it molds those three genres together in such a way, and it just made me so happy. Like the example that I use is the beginning. In the beginning, it's like a Jackie Chan movie. In the middle, it's like a ninja movie, and by the end of the movie, it's full Dragon Ball Z. So I mean, it's just I love it. It's amazing. So and your Shang Chi is awesome. Like the cosplays you did for it was fantastic. The cover for Creative Cosplays Magazine, the photo that they have. As soon as Kyle showed it to me, I was like, "Wow, who took this? Who edited this? This looks awesome. This is really cool."
Yeah,
Um,
credit to the photographer too. That was it was a hero shot. Is that who that
Throw
is?
shot, yeah, Mario out here. He's just starting into cosplay photography,
Uh-huh.
but being such a newbie at it, he's done amazing work. He comes from a lot of sports photography. I think he did work for some pro football teams and whatnot. Now he's doing some high school, college teams and whatnot. But he's really branching out into the cosplay photography part of it, and really he's done a lot of amazing shoots with a lot of great cosplayers here in DFW and in Texas here.
Awesome.
But yeah, it was a wild shoot because it was That was done, I think, a month or two ago. So even down here in Dallas Fort Worth, it was pretty chilly, like for our standards. So it was probably 40s, a little bit of wind. So when I told him, hey, look, our picture made the cover. He was super ecstatic and whatnot. And I told him, you that was all you. You did the magic. You took the shot. You edited it. All I did was I jumped around like a fool while my
Yeah.
fingers were getting frozen in the cold, and you made magic out of all my. You should see some of the shots that didn't make it, all the different things I was doing with my
Yeah.
face, and all the ones that get left on the cutting room floor when we go through a process like this, right? So
Yeah, everything looks like it came together. You have the perfect shot, the angle, the effects that look amazing. So he did the edits too, but the thing that makes it is the facial expression, man. It's like that's what nails it for me. I think.
I think
Yeah,
that was in my mind. I was thinking, all right, how can I be really angry? Oh, I know,
Yeah,
I'm really cold right now. So
cold,
this is
right?
actually how I feel on the inside. So I'm glad it manifested outwardly and showed up.
Too funny. Another one of your cosplays that stands out is I think you did it recently. Is the Khonshu? Did you do that? You did the
I did, yeah, yeah.
everything for that, huh?
So with the Khonshu, I started watching Moon Knight on Disney Plus, and just big fan of Moon Knight in general. And then I saw the design for Khonshu they had on the show, and I was, and that's really cool. I wonder if I could make that into some kind of a cosplay. Um, so I had a buddy that he does a lot of 3D printing, and I was able to buy a file from someone else that designed that helmet. The first iteration was much bigger than that. The whole design called for a harness system that he had to wear to help balance out how heavy the helmet was. So after thinking about it, that just wasn't very practical. So I was able to find something a little bit smaller. He was able to print it out. He printed it out in three different pieces, glued it all together. And then I decided to go with more of the comic costume as far as his garb and what he was wearing melded with the head from the show itself. Um, and that's one that I'm really proud of, just how it all came together. It's also one that I even less so than my Spider-Man cosplays. Um, I basically have no visibility once I put that thing on.
I was going to ask you how much could you see looking through that? Because you're looking through. Well, you have the eye opening, right? Or is it a
I have the
full
eye
black,
openings, but to
like the mask?
conceal my actual human face,
Right.
I have a black kind of Zentai Zone mask on.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's see-through, but it
Yeah.
really isn't.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
at cons and whatnot, when I have that thing on, usually I only pull down the black mask if I'm doing some kind of shoot for it. If I'm walking
Gotcha.
around, I'll usually have the mask up so I don't bump into anyone or fall or trip or anything like that. So, but the things
Yeah.
we do for cosplay, right? So,
Right. Yeah, those masks can be tricky to see through. I'm impressed by some people that are walking around cons just full face and just. I know they can't see anything.
yeah, I mean, you got to have a handler or something, or you just got to move super slow, right? So,
Well, Rio's done some cosplay himself. He's been rocking some Spider-Man.
yeah. My Spider-Man isn't on the level of you guys. Mine is more of a joke Spider-Man. So I don't.
what's the Spidey? What do you have?
Yeah, so I don't know if you've ever played Spider-Man PS4.
Hmm.
So you remember when the sequence where I think a scorpion poisons you or something, and you're swinging through the city, and you when you finally get back to like your like apartment, you
Right.
realize that you've been swinging through the city through your in your underwear the whole time.
I was gonna
So
say, was that the one you did?
yeah, yeah. So yeah,
That's
that's the one. Yeah. I did it as like a joke. I'd had like a fitness goal that I wanted to reach. And
nice.
then so I finally reached it. So then I did that as like my reward photo shoot,
There you
you
go.
know. And then like long ago I did like a Deadpool at New York Comic Con.
Ooh.
And my wife did Psylocke. So of course, she was way more popular than me. Like, I was one of 10 million Deadpools.
Well, of course.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Everybody's got to be Deadpool, man.
Right.
It's Deadpool or Spider-Man, one or the other.
yeah,
Sometimes the two get confused, right? So
Yeah.
right, yeah, yeah, true. BFFs.
that's
You
right.
know. But hey, Jimmy, I've got a question for you. What's the cosplay community like in Fort Worth?
It's great. There's a really large community down here in DFW. There's a big con down here every year around June called Fan Expo Dallas. I think Fan Expo, they do cons all over the US. So that's the biggest one down here. But there's a lot of anime conventions and cosplayers down here as well. But when I first started in 2016, I got into this a little bit later in life. So 2016, I would have been 32. But everyone that I encountered and met at conventions were super helpful, super friendly, all very welcoming. I didn't see much of that gatekeeping that sometimes you hear about in cosplay community. Um, and we're all here for each other. We have a Facebook group, North Texas Cosplay. So people bring up different issues they have with their cosplays all the time, and people are there giving out tips and tricks and whatnot. So I feel like it's very, at least for me and from my experience, it's been a very positive experience. And I'm glad I'm in DFW when I did start cosplaying, because there's a lot of opportunities for conventions, photographers to get together to shoot, and just the community itself. I made a lot of friends through it as well. I'm sure as you guys know, as we get older, we have a tougher time making friends. A lot of times we got kids, so we gotta be with kids. We can make friends with kids' parents and whatnot that they have play dates. But other than that, outside of work, especially me, I grew up in Massachusetts, so a lot of my friends are not here in Texas. So being a part of this cosplay community has been a part of, being able to get adult friends basically, and just being able to fit in. So
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand that, man. Uh, it's kind of the same thing, same reason why we still do it. I mean, not only is the community very awesome and welcoming, but yeah, it's a good way to. Everybody's your age, and you guys are all dressing up
yeah.
as your favorite characters, and yeah, it's fun.
And there's a lot of volunteer opportunities down here in Dallas Fort Worth as well.
Oh, cool.
So I'm part of a group called Capes for Kindness, and we go around to different events. A big one is during Christmas time. We do something called Santa Cops. It's here in Arlington, Texas, where we host a bunch of different underprivileged families and kids. And then we give out presents, so we hang out with them. And it's just a great event, great for the holidays to be able to give back. And there's different events like that throughout the year, and different organizations up here that cosplayers can get involved with, to be able to give back to the community, which ultimately that's what it's all about. We do these cosplays because it's cool, we like it.
Yeah.
But what's the purpose, right? Yeah, it's nice to get that new cosplay, get a nice picture out of it or a photo shoot out of it, but ultimately, I go back to why I like these characters in the first place. 5, 6, 7 years old growing up, loved Spider-Man. So if I had seen a Spider-Man in real life, I would have lost my mind, right?
Right.
And that's the greatest kind of reaction you can get as a cosplayer is when you go to cons or different events. A 6, 7, 8 year old runs up to you and they really think you're Spider-Man and they're really into it. They're not like, hey, your lens is a little bit off, or your something else is showing, something's not perfect on your cosplay. They just believe, and then you're there with them in that moment, and it's just a great feeling. So
Agreed, man. One of my longest and favorite cosplay memories is pretty much the first event I went to in Philadelphia was a Wizard World, and I dressed up as a symbiote Spider-Man. And it was the first time just dressing up and just being fully immersed in this character, walking around, and this kid comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, Spider-Man, can I have your signature?" And I was like, I had to make up a signature, but like just that feeling of that kid was so excited to see you. It was just like, I think that's what got me hooked and really into it. Yeah, man. How about you, Rio? Any experiences like that?
No, man, you know me. I try and keep everything low key.
Yeah.
But being a part of the community for as long as I have, and being so integrated in it, and hanging out with other like-minded people like you two who are really in the cosplays, and getting those interactions. I've seen it from a third person view,
Right.
and it's cool, man. It's great seeing people's reactions, especially when now even like I get what you guys are saying with the kids. The kids are like, they get really immersed into it, and now it's like, wow, this is me seeing my hero in real
Yeah.
life. I never would have thought like you're larger than life. But on the other end of the spectrum, when you come across your peers, other adults and other people who are creating cosplays, and someone admires your cosplay for the work that you put into it, that's another level of admiration that I see amongst you guys, which I think is really cool. Um, and yeah, it's just it's great, man. To me, you guys are essentially like stuntmen, and like, I mean, not literally, but like,
Yeah.
you're representing the characters, and it's almost like being like on set of like a film, So like that's what when I do my photo shoots with people, it's always better when I know something about the character myself, so that way I can help with the posing
Mm.
and like like you were saying before, facial expressions, and setting an entire full spectrum of like a mood. It's a little bit harder when you don't know the character and you kind of got to rely on the person who you're trying to take the photo of to embody that character.
Yeah.
Instead of being able to, give some input to, make the shot that much better, or knowing a really good dynamic angle that character would be, associated with. Um, so yeah. No, yeah, I'm with you. That's super cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's
I'm all about the jumping poses. I try to, for my photo shoots at least, get one kind of jumping or in air, mid air pose, something dynamic, right? Doesn't always work out, but it's always fun to try. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, those
You know,
action poses are where it's at. If you can, because I know a lot of cosplays these days are made out of foam and plastic, where you can't get into those action shots. But yeah,
yeah,
luckily,
I don't think I could have in my con shoe. I think that would have been a
yeah.
huge disaster.
Did you have stilts in that at all, or no? Were
I
you
didn't.
okay?
No, that was just
Okay.
me. I saw a con shoe. I think it was at New York Comic Con this past year. I think they were on stilts. It was legit. It was pretty amazing. So I'm jealous. Stilt work like that, or I wish I could do backflips and whatnot, so I could really
Right.
embody Spider-Man a little bit better. But I think at this age, I'd probably break my neck if I tried. So.
All right, man. Out of all the cosplays that you have done, do you have a favorite so far?
Oh boy.
Least favorite for wearing? What are your thoughts on the cosplays you've done so far? Any?
That's a good question. I think my favorite to wear is probably Spider-Man, just because of the reactions and growing up, like I said, Spider-Man was my guy, and my entry into comics and Marvel and superheroes. Um, but I think recently, probably my favorite probably has been probably the Khonshu, but to be honest, probably my Shredder. Um, just I grew up with the Ninja Turtles, and I love the cartoon. I love the first couple movies, back in the day, and just being able to do a Shredder was pretty neat because it's one that you don't see as much on the convention circuit or in cosplay in general. So it was cool to be able to do that one, and that was one of my first more intense builds as well. So that there's you always remember your first, right? So with a build like that, it was pretty neat. And obviously, I want to go back and redo it and whatnot, but I'll get around to it one of these days, and maybe even do like a super shredder cosplay as well. I think that'd be
Very
next.
cool.
I think I need some kind of muscle suit. I'm not beefy enough. So.
What kind of cosplays do you have lined up next?
Coming up, I'm hoping to do a Namor. So I want to do the version from Wakanda Forever. Currently working on the staff for that. And then after that, I am wanting to redo my Star Lord, so I'll probably do that as well. So those are coming up since Guardians 3 is coming out soon. And we're super excited about that. We were lucky enough, my daughter got cast as an extra in it. So we went down to film for a day with a bunch of other kids. So we'll see if she makes it in terms of the final cut, final movie. But we're
Oh,
definitely
wow.
looking forward to that. So
That'd be cool.
What cons do you plan on attending in 2023?
definitely Fan Expo Dallas. That's sometime in June. There's a Dallas Fan Days, which is a smaller version of what they put on. That's sometime in the fall. So definitely those two. There's an anime focus con called A-Con here in Dallas Fort Worth. Might try to go to that. And there's something called an All-Con down here as well. I haven't traveled much yet for cons, but one of these days on my bucket list, obviously San Diego Comic Con, New York Comic Con, WonderCon would be nice, and definitely Dragon Con. I've heard really good things about that, and had some friends that went and seemed like it was a blast. So,
Mm.
but
Yeah, I've been to all those except for I think two that you name. I've been to New York, San Diego, and I've gone to Dragon twice. Yeah, Dragon Con, there's really no hurry to go to that one because you can be any age and go to that con.
mm,
I was on a train with a 60-year-old guy who asked me if I was going to Dragon Con, and I was like, "Yeah, I am. Where the hell are you going?" He was like, "I'm going to Dragon Con," and I was like, "Oh man, this guy's going. This is gonna be wild." So yeah, yeah, you'll have a great
all
time at
right,
Dragon.
I'll look forward to
Uh,
that. I'm looking at cons locally as well because I've started getting my daughters into a little bit of cosplay too. So my oldest one, she's gone with me a couple times, and then my youngest one, I just took her to her first one last year. That was the one where they were really into Thor, Love and Thunder at the time. So they did Thor or Lady Thor and Valkyrie. And then I made a goat boat costume and then did that. So that was pretty neat. That was probably yeah, I think I peaked as a cosplayer in my goat boat cosplay.
that's good.
Oh
That's
man,
funny,
that
man.
sounds funny.
Yeah, let me hit you with one more question.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm going into podcast mode. Uh,
Do it.
what is your so you're a Marvel guy. What is your most anticipated upcoming Marvel film?
Ooh. For this year, probably Guardians 3. I just want to see how they wrap up the story as far as this iteration of the Guardians team goes. It seems like there's going to be some crazy stuff that goes down. But upcoming, I know that they haven't officially announced it yet, but I know Shang-Chi 2 is definitely happening sometime. So definitely looking forward to that. As well as the next couple of Avengers. We got Kang Dynasty and then Secret Wars,
Secret Wars.
all great and potentially epic movies. So,
Mm.
what about you
Yeah.
guys?
Huh. Man, that's wow. I didn't think you would flip the question on me. Uh, um,
I
I
was thinking while he was talking.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Kang Dynasty because it's being directed by the same guy who directed Shang-Chi. Daniel Destin Daniel Destin Cretton, I think is his name.
Yep.
Yeah, which I think he directed the hell out of Shang-Chi. I just love that movie. I think it was so well put together. The special effects looked great. Um, the acting was fairly solid all the way around. I like the interactions between him and his father. Uh, the interactions between him and his sister were good too, but they weren't very heavy. Maybe they'll get a little bit more into that in the, maybe if they do like a Disney Plus 10 Ring series
Mm.
or in the sequel. Um, but yeah, I can't express how happy I was with Shang-Chi. I was surprised by how much I liked it. I was like, wow, this is like the movie for me, you know?
Yeah, for me, I'm just curious to see how all these puzzle pieces come together. If they're going to come together in time for those two movies, or if it, because you have so many different directions now. You have teams forming all over the place. And
Yeah.
are they coming together for those two last movies, or are they just kind of branching off and doing their own stuff? I'm curious to see which films and shows kind of bring all these stories together. They're
Yeah.
bound to happen at some point.
Yeah, they do a good job tying things together. So I have faith in them. We'll see how it all, like you said, falls in line. But I think they will, especially with all these shows now too. So you have much more room to grow things and tell the stories and just versus just a 2-3 hour movie.
Yeah. How about your guys' least favorite Marvel show or movie so far? What's the bottom of the list? Is I can go way back. They can cover
Yeah.
everything. But
Who wants to go first? Because I've got immediate answer.
Yeah, me too. Thor 2 for me.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Thor Dark World. Maybe I just need to give it another rewatch, but it
Yeah.
just was not my cup of tea. It was fine, it was serviceable, but pretty forgettable.
Yeah, so mine used to be Iron Man 3, but
Yeah.
the new title for worst MCU film for me now is Thor Love and Thunder. I hate that movie.
The worst movie? You got that at the
Yes,
bottom?
I
Come on,
hate
man.
that movie with a passion. Like that movie, they are so lucky I'm not like a film critic with a million followers because that movie was certified trash to me. How do you waste Christian Bale? How do you waste Batman? Like what even was that? The screaming goats, that was funny, like, I don't know, for half a second.
What,
But
Russell
like
Crowe as Zeus? Come on, man.
and then they threw like a lightning bolt through his chest. I was like, okay, he's dead. Oh wait, he's
Oh,
not dead.
he's alive, yeah.
You know? So yeah, that movie was just a cluster expletive. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree about Christian Bale, like because that storyline is amazing in the comics. With Gore
Yes.
the God Butcher. He's Gore the God Butcher. Show him butchering some gods. That was my main critique with it.
Yeah, he
You have all this. It wasn't
killed the
even that
one.
long of a movie. You had
Right.
plenty of time to put in a couple scenes to show how menacing and terrifying he is, but they didn't for some reason. So
Yeah. And it's Christian Bale.
yeah,
Like, I mean, playing the villain.
Best Batman ever. He's my favorite Batman. So that's on my list. I need to get a bat suit. I want to get a Dark Knight bat suit. So
Thor Love and Thunder is some trash though.
Yeah,
Don't don't watch don't stream it on Disney Plus. Don't buy the Blu-ray. Like make sure Marvel never makes another movie like that.
well, how
let
did you
me ask
watch
you
it?
this: did you like Ragnarok?
Oh, I love Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I've got the poster right here
Oh
behind me.
yeah, there we go. Yep.
Yeah. And it's directed by Taika Waititi, which was even more disappointing. Like he was smoking crack or something when he did Love and Thunder. I don't know what his problem was. That dude, it was like he was a completely different director. Like they just handed the reins over to some, I don't know. I can't, I don't have no idea. Like I can't say enough bad things about that movie.
All right then. Are they continuing Thor, or is he done, or is he coming back for another? Do you guys know what his
Yeah,
plan is?
it's probably going to be a while. Chris Hemsworth, the guy who plays Thor, I think he said he's taking a break from acting for a little while. He found out some medical stuff about himself, so he wants to spend more time with his family. I'm a huge like nerd about all this stuff, so I read all this stuff all day, and just I know a lot of little intricacies of this nonsense.
Right.
You and me both. Yep, I'm right there with you. So live and breathe it. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what though. At least it's better than whatever's going on over at DC though. So I hope they figure it out because I'm a big DC fan as well. But you just need to right that ship. That so far it's not going the way it should. So
Yeah, I think they're gonna fix it because James Gunn is now the head. Well, him and Peter Safran, I think, is the guy's name. He's one of the producers over there at Warner Brothers. Those two guys are heading DC Studios, so I think they're gonna make things right.
I hope so. I trust James Gunn. I like everything he's done, Marvel and DC side. So
Just seems like they have a lot of catching up to do.
yeah.
And they have to stick with the plan.
Yeah.
Oh well.
What about you, Kyle? You haven't answered the question about what's your least favorite Marvel project?
You guys named them. You guys named the named the ones I was gonna say. So it's Iron Man 3 and Thor. What was that 2, right?
Yeah, Dark World.
Dark World. Yeah, that one. Yep, those are my least favorite so far. All right, guys. Jimmy, pleasure to meet you, bud. Hopefully, at some point, we can make it down to Texas, or you come up to the East Coast where we're at in Maryland for a convention or two. If you can, just give everybody a heads up on how they can reach you, how they can find you, how they can follow you.
Yeah, sure thing. I'm on Instagram at JCW.COSPLAY. think I have a corresponding Facebook page as well, but it's Instagram or nothing for me. So just find me on there. Yeah, and I appreciate you taking time to do this. And once again, I appreciate you choosing me for the cover for this great issue, and I look forward to getting my physical copies. I'm putting one up. I'm framing it in my kind of crafting room, man cave area. So I'll have that up. I'm not vain or anything, but just a little bit.
Sounds good. Sounds good. How about you, Rio? How can everybody get a hold of you, find all your stuff?
Yeah, you can find my cosplay, boudoir, everything in between photography on Instagram at Griffin_Studios. That's GRIFFIN_Studios. You can find me on Twitter at Rio_Griffin. And on TikTok, it's Griffin Studios.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Again, the new issue of Creative Cosplays Magazine is out, the mid-season issue, which features Jimmy himself on the cover. Be sure to check it out. Just go to www.creativecosplays.com/order. Get yourself a copy in printed or digital copies. Again, thank you guys for coming. We hope you guys have a great new year. Lots of events coming up again, new cosplays. We look forward to seeing what you guys are able to accomplish this year. Rio, with your photography, we look forward, as always, to seeing what you produce. Jimmy, your new cosplays, keep it up. You're doing a great job. Thank you again, guys, for coming, and we're gonna get on out of here. See ya. Thank you again, Rio and Jimmy, for joining us today. If you guys can, please give them a follow on their channels, give them a like, check out all their photos and all their work. It's just amazing stuff. And if you guys can, be sure to give us a follow. You guys can find us on Instagram at Creative Cosplays Mag or Creative.COSPLAYS. And you can even find us on Facebook, Creative Cosplays Magazine. And if you guys want to be in one of our next issues of Creative Cosplays Magazine, just visit our website, www.creativecosplays.com. And we look forward to getting you guys published. If you guys want to check out more interviews in the future, be sure to subscribe to our channel, hit the like buttons if you can. It would really help us out. We really appreciate it. All right, guys, that's about it. Thank you again so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe out there. Bye.